Alright, if you got a Maytag or a Whirlpool washer that makes this sound, you should probably watch this full-length video, but here's just the short version so you can get the gist of what you need to do. This is what's referred to as a direct drive system, simply because it does not have a belt and pulley system attached to it. One thing that should never happen is this bolt should never be loose, and this thing, I'm already spinning it with my fingers, so right there is a major problem as to what's going on here. But you're still going to need you a toolkit like this one from Duratec. So this video is not sponsored, but it does have everything that we need, and that's what we're going to be using. Take a screwdriver, find one of these holes right here, lock on to the housing back there and hold it in place. Stabilize everything so you can break it loose. This exterior piece right here is magnetically locked onto the stator on the inside. You need to grip it on both sides and start pulling backwards. You'll feel a little bit of tension, and that's just that magnetic friction from the magnets trying to hold on to it. There you go. Once that magnetic rotor is off there, you want to inspect everything. Stator magnets on the top side, the copper coils that's wrapped around each one, look for damage, burning, arcing, anything. And if you visually find something wrong with it, you should probably replace the stator. So want to check the rotor plate for any type of damage. These things usually have a 10-year warranty on them from Maytag. Make sure to check with them before you go buying parts. Look closely, there is a spline drive, hooks into the agitator, all that kind of stuff inside the tub. And inside the magnetic rotor here, you can see that everything is dirty. It's got some grime and dust around it, kind of like brake dust if you ever change rotors. You want to clean all this up, inspect it a little bit more thoroughly. Inspect the spline to make sure that there's no damage. Inspect the internal spline on this to make sure none of the teeth are worn down. Start unplugging the wiring harnesses here. Behind here you got two little tabs on each one of these. You're going to want to push in and up on it and loosen one side, then go to the other side, push in and up, and then pop each one of these harnesses out of here. Push in and up. Should be able to pull it out there relatively easy. Look at this assembly right here. In total you've got 6 different bolts. 3 of those are going to hold the clutch to the tub, and 3 are holding the stator to the tub. 2 separate parts, but they're in conjunction working together, so they're married together. All these are going to be 7mm bolts, and they're the exact same length and size. Now, it doesn't really matter in which rotation you take these off. It's about how long all of them are going to be. Remove the whole piece as one, like so. Remember which side is the top side, which side is the bottom, and lay it down nice and flat on the ground. Now you're going to be dealing with the slider ring and clutch assembly mechanism. It does have a retaining ring on there like the old school round head ratchets would have. The mechanism is spring loaded, as you can see right here. For 2 to 5 years of use and abuse, this thing will slowly start sliding off of it, the magnet will. That's what's going to cause some of your biggest problems, on top of the teeth on the inside of this that'll usually wear out. First thing you got to do is get that retaining ring off here. I found the end of it right here. Basically a cool spring that's flat. I'll take it, put it inside where the sprocket teeth are. Now we're going to pull it down while pulling out, and that's going to pull it away from those teeth. Once you get it out here, you see right there, I'm in behind it on the outside. You do it just like you would old round head ratchets. You take it and you spin it all the way around, and it slowly pulls it away from the teeth. See right there? It pops it out, pops it down. Yep, nice and easy. Go all the way around it again, and as you go all the way around that spline, it pops it loose. Now you're gonna have your spring and steel right there. That is, you're gonna keep all that together, and then this will slide right off here. Exactly how easy it is to take this off here and to reassemble it, you do the exact same thing in reverse. Because the biggest problem that this particular washer's having, that the magnet has slid down. You see that? That's wore out. But you got a tab over here, so you need to pull that wire out of that tab. That way you can safely remove the harness to the clutch itself. Looking at it here, this one goes to the clutch. So all you got to do is just barely pry back on that, and you start pulling back on this. And right there you are. It pops it out. You didn't break the teeth. Now you can safely flip this around right here, and you can remove it. And right there is your clutch. So if you need to replace the clutch, that's how you're going to do it. When you get the new one, you put it right back in place. You align it where everything is supposed to be at right here, and you put it back inside that rail. Now the teeth look good on the inside of this. What you need to look for is the teeth on the outside of this. And if you turn it to the side, you can clearly see where this is broke right here. So the magnet has definitely slid off. But there's also wear patterns on the outside of those teeth. And where does this fit at? Well, whenever that spring engages and the clutch engages, it's going to lock into place right here. And then all this works together with the stator, with the clutch. So it'll engage up and down with that spring assembly and the magnetic field whenever it needs to lock and turn into place. So whenever you're getting ready to spin out, it should lock this in, and it should turn the entire thing. The problem is, where that bolt was loose, it wore the teeth out on the actual rotor housing itself, and it wore the teeth out on this. So for the best repair, this needs to be replaced, and that definitely needs to be replaced. Even though the internal clutch and stator might very well be good, when you dive this far into it, you might as well replace the whole thing to ensure that you've done it right. Otherwise, you put a brand new one in where the teeth on this is wore out a little bit, chances are anything happen in the future, you're going to be making this repair again. That's why I recommend the very first moment that you hear any kind of clicking or grinding sound, you immediately stop the washer, tilt it back, and you can reach underneath there with a T30 torque screw and make sure that that bolt is tight. If not, this could very well be the problem that you're getting ready to experience. At the very least, this will be a problem, and that will be the easiest fix without you having to replace everything else that goes along with it. Because the teeth on this should be flush with the top of this rim, and they're not. They're mangled up a little bit where this is made from plastic, and you got all that force in behind it trying to force it. and it just barely has to raise up there to lose its grip, and right there's why it's not spinning. Show you how this reassembles, because we're going to reassemble it and take it out of here until the new one comes in, and then we'll put the new parts on for it. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the clutch slider to the spindle here. Then we'll take our spring, mount it in place, and the tricky part's going to be putting the retaining ring back in. Now this isn't going to be as bad as it looks. If you look on the spindle shaft itself, it's got little notches cut out. Now what you need to do is pull back on that retaining ring on one side. It's kind of like a key ring, but it's really thin. You pull back on it, get it started in that notch, and then you push in. And as you push in, you hold it in place on the top and work your way all the way around with a pick. You could take the pick, slide it in the groove, pry back on it, and it pops it in place, and then you're good to go. Now once that's in place, pull back and forth on it to make sure that it's not going to pop off there and everything is secure. Now here's your close look as to what this should look like. All you got to do, like I said, is take this pick, slide it in there, push back on it, and it'll help lock it into place as you roll around. Now you need to take your magnetic clutch and stator and put it back together the way it was when you took it apart. Make sure that wiring harness is secured inside that channel. Now you want to align the bolt holes, but you also want to line this up the way it come off. You want the wiring harness to be in the same direction as the mounting bracket that the wiring harness locks into, which is going to be that bottom right corner, about the 4 o'clock position. Now pick up your 7mm bolt, run one through the clutch, which also helps hold the stator in place, and do the same thing on the other side. Now you can go through here once it's held in place and start all of these by hand and run them in snug. Or you can take your 7mm socket and extension, because it will help you speed up this process. Now you just need to hook it to your 1/4" drive ratchet and tighten everything down, just don't over tighten it. We'll go ahead and get our wiring harness in place here. You pull that mounting bracket up, there's a little hole that's already drilled out inside the transmission housing. You slide that in place, then take your white plug, put it on top, the black plug, put it on the bottom, plug in the wires, take your 10mm socket, tighten down that bracket. Now you need your magnetic rotor cover. You want to line up the spline on the center of the shaft. Make sure you're in front of it nice and even, and it should slide right back in place. Grab your T30 torque screw, start it by hand. You could put a T30 bit inside of a driving handle like I am here to get it nice and snug. But if you want to make sure it's tightened down with some torques, take a screwdriver, run it through the housing where it bucks up against the transmission on the tub. That way you can tighten it down nice and tight with the driving handle. Then if you want to tighten it down more, just reach for a ratchet, get your 1/4" bit adapter, put the Torx bit in it, and then tighten it down with a ratchet nice and snug. Now I recommend making sure it's nice and tight, just don't over torque it. Now we're going to get this thing stood up, put it back in place, turn the water on, plug it in, and see if it helped it any at all, because she can use it to wash a few loads before she replaces it. As you can see, it is locked in and spinning.